Hi everyone and welcome to this demo here where we will showcase the FAST2 capabilities when it comes to extracting documents from a local file system, tweak them a little bit and eventually upload them into an M-file system. There will be quite a few concepts which we're going to highlight today. The first type of them falls under the scope of the tool in itself, while the second is more related to what you would face during a document migration. On the tool side, we'll see how to design and build a workflow and then how to execute it to literally launch a migration. Then we'll be able to track all the data as they flow and potentially, if some error occurs, we'll see how to deal with them. On the migration side, though, we'll see how to pull documents from a regular file system that you all guys have. We'll see how to map the data so the names can be changed along the way, and then converting the format of a date value property so the format will be matching not what we received, but what we want to send. Then we'll see some conditional routing based on some particular criteria, and in the end, we'll be sending this document into an M-Files remote system. So the first thing to do when you land on the FAST2 UI is you go to the catalog and then you picked up a task that matches where your documents will be pulled out from. So in our case, since it's local file system, we'll be using the local source component and then paste the path of the documents where all our documents are now stored in. Since I want all the documents, I will just take that and we can read from the source that we have two folders for now, and in the second one we have type B and then a given folder architecture when we will land in the end on a particular file. If we want a more advanced view of where we are in this folder architecture, we can see that I have a sample PDF, I have a JPEG and a PNG file. All of them are under the same folder structure that we are gonna take advantage of in the next tasks of the workflow. So we expect when we enter this input file path to have three records, and we can see that here this is exactly what we have. We have sample.pdf, the PNG, and the JPEG, which were exactly the same that we just saw previously from the terminal. And then in the end, since we have to do some tweaking along the way. The main task and the main goal of all these migration would be to send the documents directly into the M-Files injector. So for that, we would just need to configure the IP address. We are using the REST API of M-Files to be able to send documents and metadata as well as their contents. We have the login, the password, and the vault GUID, which you might be aware of if you already know how M-Files works. If we switch gear here a little bit, we could land on something that more or less looks like this. So in here, in the first tag, we have how to retrieve our local files, and then we have some mapping with out-of-the-box task where it's just a regular key value mapping where we just change the keys, but we keep the same value. Now, if we want to take a deeper look at all our task configuration, we have here the out-of-the-box mapping task, which is adding here a document type based on an existing value, so absolute path, but that will be dynamically calculated thanks to this pattern-like syntax where you can input some codes. And here we are splitting all the absolute path of the content and taking the folder number 8 to be matching the document type. We have the same here with the contract type, and we can also use basic functions of coding. Then here we'll have our conditional routings where we state that if the file name ends with .pdf or just PDF, that'll be considered as a PDF file. On the other hand, so all the other documents, so we have our PNG and our JPEG file, will be sent to these additional processing PNG files, and then we'll be adding a data to it. Then we'll have the data mapping with JavaScript. So this is just a code here, a basic JavaScript code that you can read probably more easily here. Well, this is just plain old JavaScript that will be integrated into the workflow where you can add some data. So here, the data input format for the date is this one. We want to convert it into that one. The date, the name holding the date value is labeled creation date, and then we'll change that and add it to our current structure. Then we'll check the MIME type, clean some folder, and in the end, inject that into the M files systems via the REST API where we set all our correct credentials. So let's now start our workflow and initiate the migration. So we can hit play here and we'll see that we have, all right, we have our three documents. Here we have the three and all the counters are going through. So we can spot area here. We see that we have two PNG files, which are two images, so they're not really PNGs. We have only one PDF, etc., etc. Here we have an error. We might want to see how that error uh, got raised. So here we have the debug mode, so all the logs attaching to this particular document, and then we could not upload the document into M files because we didn't find the data named, which was expected because only the PNG files has been added to name data. We can see here that if we want to track our documents, so everything here has been added and nothing has been deleted. So if we want to track it over time, we see that here we have a document and we can see at the title here that this is our PDF. Then if we go to the next task, we see that it goes straight to the PDF and it didn't go into that route here, so nothing has been done. Here, oh, something got updated. So we find our creation date data where the value has been changed from this past format into the new format. So the hours are being resolved to be 00. And then in the end, we check the MIME type. So we validate that here it's a real PDF and not just a file with the PDF extension. Then we clean some folders here. So we see that everything got erased. And then in the end, it didn't go, well, it went to this task here, but it didn't go to M files. For those who went to M files, we have the content here. So the ID of the content, the file GUID, which we can look afterwards. And then we have the display ID. Now, if we want to see our documents into the destination M file system, we'll just have to go here per class and then go to the documents, and we see that we have here our JPEG document that got injected successfully. It was one of the successes, and then the PNG file. We could not find the PDF because it got stuck um, into the final injector task. So that's it. That wraps it up. I hope you liked it.